Hey Jonathan, just want to give you some more feedback around your essay. So I've just, as you can see, a little image to put up the question there. If you're waiting for something actually to happen, I'm not going to write anything else in the little box here. But look, I just wanted to talk about, I guess, the structure of your essay. And as we mentioned in class, the challenge with the essay here is that it is a pretty tough question. Of course, you have to think about two things. We're thinking about the Bolshevik acquisition of power, so of course October 1917, so I have to get that clear. But then also consolidation, perhaps, of the Civil War, which is really quite difficult. And I think perhaps putting both events is probably very difficult and probably a bit challenging for a 2,000-word essay. I also think that maybe you need to focus on one thing only, either focus on the Civil War or focus on October 1917, not both. I really think that you'll struggle to successfully background both October 1917 and background the Civil War, and then include obviously the support by the Russian people. But look, in terms of your actual essay content, obviously your introduction does need work. In this case, of course, keep the introduction simple. So, basic introduction is absolutely fine in these situations. Think about, answer the question, historical context, answer the question, go straight into your argument, talk about that, foreground that, give me the other side of the argument, and then just sum up with a sentence. At the end of the day, the basic your essay is, the clearer the essay is, the basic the essay is, it's absolutely fine. Alright? In saying that, thinking about your question as well, that first paragraph here on the first page where it starts with strong centralized leadership is a theme running throughout Russian history. I think perhaps you've probably gone a bit too far back in history. Certainly we're trying to keep it to, a background paragraph should never really go beyond maybe 10, 15 years previous to the events you're trying to explain, realistically. And to be honest, there's stuff in there that doesn't really contribute to the reader's necessary need to know that far back in Russian history. Look, as I said, the challenge with this question is which you're trying to actually answer effectively. The Bolshevik acquisition of power, which was obviously, to a degree supported by the Russian people, but then also further it by saying consolidation of their power was also supported by the Russian people. But perhaps it's going to get very, very, very challenging to, I guess, provide an answer to both of those things. And I think that, limiting it to one would be important. The only other thing I was going to mention is, of course, I know this is only a draft, but look, please, when you're writing your response, put in the quotes as quotes, put in the references as references, keep it all correct, keep it all, all there. I read a quote earlier by Malone about genuine revolutions that obviously isn't your own writing, and of course it would get picked up if it was put to return it in. So, look, at the end of the day, there's some stuff here, and it's a very challenging question. I think for me, I would stick with the acquisition of power. I would stick with that. I would obviously go through the background to the revolution, which you've done. I would then go and talk about how the revolution was supported by the Russian people, obviously in some way, or not supported by the Russian people. And then, of course, your other side of the argument as well. So, look, that's all I've got to say, and I think that keep working at it. It's not the end of the world if it's not all sort of completely finished tomorrow. But, it's a tough one, alright? So, keep working at it. Alright?